Barnestorm is in the process of updating the Select Patient screen. This video is going to show you what to expect with the upcoming release. So this is the way the screen currently looks. What we're doing is taking this group of buttons and placing them into a drop-down list. Doing this will allow room for improving the screen in the future. Something else you'll notice, there will only be an active and discharged option. The range of days for discharge will no longer be an option. Okay, so I've switched to the new version. As you can see right away, it looks less cluttered. I'll walk you through the main changes. Here we have the active and discharged buttons. As I mentioned before, we no longer have the option to select the number of days for discharge. Next to that, we have a drop-down list for valid program codes for your agency. So when you're searching for patient data, you can select one program code or select all. If the employee logged in is restricted to select programs, then the search will acknowledge that rule and only show results based on the user's restrictions. Next, we have this menu icon. This shows the auto run searches. When this is checked, it is the same as the save these settings option as before. So this will automatically run the last search that you ran. And then down here at the bottom, we have this show field. This will replace the look back days. And instead of days, what this will return is the number of entries. So we have a drop-down list where you can select default numbers. And if you need to select a different number, all you'll need to do is manually type in the number. And I'll show you an example of the number of rows to return here in a second. Next, we have the viewing option. So this is what replaced all of the options from the top right corner of the Select Patient screen. We have placed them into a drop-down list. So everything that was listed there before will show up here. So let me show you an example of how to pull up recent visits. So right now I have 20 rows selected. That's that show field down there to the bottom left. With that number, if I select one of these options, once you click on it, it's going to return that many rows. So this example, I have recent visits and 20 selected. It's going to pull the most recent 20 visits. If I change this number, it's going to automatically refresh. Another example would be schedules. So for this one, when I select schedules, it's going to pull schedules starting with today and going into the future. So this pulls the upcoming 50 schedules. This button down here to the left, this printer icon will print the list that's showing. And then this printer icon down here at the bottom right, this will allow you to select a visit and print the individual visit. And then we also have a refresh button, which will refresh the search that you're running. Next, I'll show you how to pull an active list of patients. So from the viewing options, you can select one of the patients by options. I'm going to click on last name. And then for some of the larger agencies, you may need to go ahead and just select the 500 option. And so this is going to pull all active, referred not admitted, and on hold patients. I'm going to go ahead and just switch this view up real quick. Let's do the 20 most recent referrals. And this will go by the referred date. Next, I'm going to show you how to search for a patient. It's mostly done the same way. So you can search for a patient by keying in their 6-digit chart number, or you can search for them by name. So if you have a different view pulled up, you'll notice when you start to search by name, down here at the bottom, it's going to change the viewing to patients by name, which means it's going to search the first and the last name for the text that you're keying in into the patient field. So if for some reason too many results show, you can always go down here to the drop-down list and then select by last name or first name, and it should filter down the list to just the last name or the first name. And just like before, when you select a patient, you will see the patient's demographics up here at the top. And the last thing I'll show you is you are now able to insert a patient photo up here at the top. So if you click on the pencil icon, which is the edit icon, you can locate the photo of the patient and double click on it. And then that photo will be inserted here at the top.